Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hungry House Husband Show. Today, I have for you a homemade pizza dough. Now, this dough is good for anything from a calzone to a pizza to stromboli. It is not like your average dough out there, as it is very sticky when it's ready to be molded or flattened. And most doughs, you want to add enough flour to keep that from being the case, but this turns out a little differently. So to begin, we're going to start with 2.5 cups of lukewarm water, about comfortable bath temperature. And into that, we're going to add 1/4 cup of sugar and 3 teaspoons of instant yeast. Now give the yeast sugar mixture a nice good stirring, just to kind of mix everything up and make sure that sugar is dissolving. Try and scrape it off the sides of the bowl. If you're using a plastic bowl, this works exactly the same. It's just a little more elbow grease. And touching on that, I am using a KitchenAid mixer, but that's just because I have one now. I didn't used to. I've made things like this by hand many times, and it's kind of even therapeutic. You can kind of go to your happy place dealing with dough and kneading with your hands, so whatever works for you. Now, after we let that sit for 10 minutes, the yeast should have risen up like this, nice and foamy. If it didn't, either your water was too hot and killed the yeast, or you have bad yeast and you just need to get some more. Either way, hopefully it'll turn out like this when you try. Now we're going to start adding in the flour. I suggest adding it in 1/2 cup at a time. Don't just go throwing it all in there. You will end up with a nice firm brick inside of the bowl, and it will be gummy and not mixed well at all. So just take it slow. Definitely a marathon, not a sprint. We're not in a hurry here. We got all day. Now, once you're about 1 cup or maybe 2 cups worth of flour into the bowl, go ahead and add your oil and your salt. You don't want to add these before you start adding the flour because salt kills yeast. So you need the oil to act as a barrier along with the flour to keep that yeast from dying, because if you kill the yeast, then your dough will not rise. So go ahead, just add in 1/2 cup flour at a time until it gets nice and incorporated. So here we are after all 6 cups of flour have been added. Be sure to lift the hook and scrape down the sides if you're using a mixer. Make sure there's no pockets of flour underneath. Make sure you get all that's on the sides down in there to mix together. Make sure there's none hiding on top of the hook attachment. All of that flour is good, and might as well use it. So just scrape it down on top, close her back up, give her another couple spins, and you will be ready. Now, notice this dough looks extremely sticky. It is sticky. It will stick to whatever goes in that bowl. And like I said before, that's the way you want it. You don't want this to be firm and just tacky to the touch like you would with bread. If I was making a loaf of bread, I would never bake it at this stage. I would definitely add a lot more flour. But with this, it's a little harder to handle just because it is glutinous and sticky and just clings to everything. But trust me, it works perfectly. So after your dough is mixed and very tacky, we're going to go ahead and spritz down a bowl with some non-stick spray. Then just put your dough down into it. Once you've got everything in the bowl, go ahead and spray the top of that dough, and then we're going to cover it with a towel and let it sit for about an hour until it's risen. There you have it, the best pizza dough ever. All you need to do is smash it down, hit it with your fist a couple times, get a bunch of the air out of it. This will make 3 large pizzas. I've used it on stromboli, I've used it on calzone, I've used it on pizza. In fact, I have a pizza and a cheesy bread recipe that I'm about to put out as well using this exact same dough in this bowl. You will notice that it is no longer sticky to the touch. That is true only of the top. The bottom is still really sticky. Cut this into thirds. Each one makes a pizza, a stromboli, what have you. You are going to want to work with it a little when you are rolling it into whatever shape that you want, because it does have a lot of gluten in it. That means it's going to try to snap back into shape like a rubber band unless you let it rest a couple of minutes and then try again. You'll see what I mean later in the other videos. Be sure to use it on a well-floured work surface. Put it down on the surface, get it smushed down pretty good, flip it over, make sure the other side gets flour as well. Otherwise it's just going to stick to your countertop and you're going to have a mess. Alright, so look forward to the next videos. The pizza, I have a ranch chicken bacon pizza and cheesy bread. So keep an eye out for those, but until next time, may your life and your food always have flavor. Bye-bye.